right. Hello and welcome to my divine Sonder family here tonight. So glad, or maybe it's still afternoon for you, but so glad to see so many of you here. I see lots of folks coming in. My name's Maya, and I am coming to you from Denver, Colorado, where it was a lovely day today, nice and sunny and warm. I think we're supposed to get snow maybe in the middle of the week, but that's how it works in February in Colorado. So I see lots of folks from all over in the chat. We see Michigan, Tennessee. I saw some California, Ohio, New Jersey. We've got folks from all over, and it's fabulous. I love when we have our Sonder socials and we have people from all over the US, and sometimes we have some international folks. So always kind of fun to have everyone joining us. So be sure that you set your chat to everyone so that everyone can see what you're putting in the chat. Otherwise, a lot of times it defaults to host and panelist, especially if you're on a cell phone or you're on an iPad. It will keep defaulting back, and so then the only ones that can see it are myself and my fabulous stage manager here tonight, Karen. She might pop on, give you a little wave. There she is. Hey, Karen. This weekend we were joking, it's the Karen and Maya show all weekend. Karen hosted one of our exclusive events, and I was the stage manager this morning. Now it's me, and then I'll be hosting also the weekly setup tomorrow with Karen as my stage manager. So yeah, and Amber says, yay, the Karen and Maya show. Yep, Karen and Maya show tonight. So tonight is really all about setting up for the week, right? And we have different kinds of socials for some folks, excuse me, who are new. We have setups, we have socials where we set up things in your journals. We have socials where we will also go through journal prompts, and we have setups where we go through special prompts that aren't actually in the social as well. So, and I noticed some folks were saying they were having some tech issues. Sometimes if you sign out and sign back in, also make sure everything's kind of closed on your computer if you're using computer. Because sometimes if you have too many things open, it will kind of interrupt the streaming. Also, sometimes there's the something with your speaker, but it sounds like most folks are doing okay. So sometimes Wi-Fi connection can be give you a little bit of a fit too. So I apologize for that. I wish there was a way that I could fix it, but I think we're okay on our end. So hopefully you'll be able to kind of go through. So as you know, this month's theme is passion. And so it's been really fun so far to kind of explore how folks are seeing passion in their daily lives, and really thinking of this idea of passion as just really strong feelings and excitement about something, right? And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be anything. There's a lot of things folks are realizing, hey, I'm actually passionate about a lot of different things. So it's been kind of fun this month as we've been digging through this idea of passion. So our agenda tonight is we're going to do what we call a passion mind map. So we always do a mind map at our weekly setups to kind of help you dig in to different areas of your life and see how the monthly theme is kind of touching different areas of your life. So we'll do that tonight. We'll also do our rosebud thorn activity, where you can look back on the week and identify a rose, a bud, and a thorn. Then we'll get into that weekly setup. So those 2 pages that we set up, that we kind of go through every week to kind of set things up. And then we'll close it out. So I definitely want to stress, because I know we have a lot of new folks here in the Sonder fam. We have lots of returning folks, but we have new folks. And I think it's always good to give ourselves a little reminder that there's room for you here just as you are. And these 2 pictures here on my slides are from the latest Kate. I love her drawings and very positive things. And I think it's important for you to know that if everything's going great and you're having great success in your job, relationships, whatever, share that with us. We love to celebrate successes with you. On the other hand, some of you may be struggling, right? Some of you are, maybe having some difficulties at work, maybe some health issues, maybe family health issues, death in the family, job issues, right? Relationship issues. share that with us too, right? We're here to support you. So whether you need support with things that you're struggling with, or you want us to help celebrate, we are here for you just as you are, right? Room for you here just as you are. And also, the way you feel matters. No emotion you feel is bad or unworthy, right? So the emotions we feel are the emotions we feel, and no one can tell you that that's good or that that's bad. Our emotions just are how they are. So it's okay to experience that. I also want to remind everyone that, and these are from Sonder Club, which I think most folks are in, but the Sonder Club rules or guidelines kind of go for Sonder Socials as well. So really, Sonder Club and Sonder Socials are places for clarity, compassion, connection, and creativity. Those are really our kind of foundational values that we have here in the Silk and Sonder world. And we also, these are the rules that are from the guidelines, I should say, that are from our Sonder Club. And there's definitely some that apply to our Sonder Socials, right? So we want to be kind and courteous. We want to respect folks' privacy. What we talk about here stays in here. No hate speech or bullying. Very important that we are supportive of each other, that we offer constructive ideas and thoughts. A lot of times folks will ask for maybe suggestions of things that they can do if things are going wrong. We want to be very, very supportive. Also, if you have any customer care questions like subscription issues or pricing issues or something like that, order status, all those should be directed to hello@silkandsonder.com so that they can help take care of you, right? And really, this is a place for responsibility and trust. We try to maintain a very safe, authentic, and uplifting space. So keep in mind those rules and those guidelines so that we can continue to have this very supportive, uplifting community. I think that's so, so important in today's digital world where sometimes things can get a little sketchy, right? We try very hard here at Silk and Sonder to be supportive and positive for everyone. So a good positive space for everyone in your life. All right, so let's dig into this idea of passion, right? So this month we're exploring passion in various areas of our lives. 4 weekends in February, we're on weekend number 2. So we've got these 4 different areas. And so this week we are going to focus on our hobbies. Last week we focused on home, things that you're passionate about in your home life. Tonight we're going to focus on hobbies. And again, remember, passion equals strong feelings of excitement or enthusiasm. So are there any particular hobbies? Are there any particular areas in your life in this area of hobbies? It could be hobbies that you are already engaging in, or maybe it's hobbies that you haven't started working in that you want to kind of think of. So what some folks do is they take a blank page in your journal, which I know we say that all the time, but you can take a blank page in your journal or scratch paper, another empty journal, whatever, and just kind of divide it into 4 quadrants. One quadrant is home, next quadrant is hobbies. Week 3, we'll have another area that you can dig into, and then week 4. The other thing that I like to do, so it kind of keeps it fresh in my mind, is in that space, that little place where it says scratch pad in your weekly, as you do kind of the weekly spread. So I think this week's would be, just trying to find the page numbers and there's not a page number on there. 41, 42, like page 43, where it says scratch pad. Sometimes I will just list out all the hobbies or things that I am passionate about as it relates to my hobbies here. The other thing that you can think of, and I thought this was kind of a fun little prompt that goes along with this idea of hobbies, is if you could spend 30 minutes today creating whatever you want, what would you create? So another way to kind of think about hobbies is creating, right? So any of those kinds of things. So I'm going to give you some time. I'm going to play a song, let you work on this, and then I will check back in and see how folks are doing. Feel free to share kind of what you're thinking, what you're writing down as you think about passion as it relates to your hobbies. right. So how are we doing? I saw a few folks saying, oh, is exercise a hobby? I feel like maybe exercise isn't a hobby. Honestly, and I popped the definition in there, hobby is just an activity done regularly in one's leisure time for pleasure, right? It's something that you are doing for fun, right? So a hobby could be even volunteering, right? Maybe you volunteer for a certain organization, or you volunteer at the hospital. That can certainly be a hobby. Exercise, dancing, reading, baking. What else am I saying? Oh, eating, right? Eating can totally be a hobby, right? Finding new restaurants and trying new food is a great hobby. Tennis, again, yeah, trying new foods, quilting. I said in the chat that I'm a big knitter, so that is definitely my most passionate hobby, but also definitely reading. Um, I would say watching movies is a hobby. My husband and I love to go to the movies as often as possible. So yeah, so folks are definitely finding kind of seeing those different things that you do. Crossword puzzles. My husband loves crossword puzzles, hobby. Sudoku, right? Lots of folks like to do that. So really, it's just this idea of kind of things that you do and in your leisure time that give you pleasure, and then think about how that can stir your passion, your strong feelings of excitement or enthusiasm. I think with a lot of my hobbies, specifically knitting, I have a lot of friends who are also knitters. And so we get together and it just kind of our passions kind of come through, and it's so fun to talk to somebody else who has the same passion. Yes, Silk and Sonder can totally be a hobby, right? You folks, this is your hobby time. You're hanging out with your pals, and we're talking about our, doing our Silk and Sonder. And going through, yeah, Stacy's saying leisure time. What's that, right? Well, we can, sometimes we maybe don't have as much leisure time as possible. The thing I like about knitting, when people are like, oh, I wish I had the time to do that, it's very portable. I always have like a really easy project with me. So when I'm waiting in the doctor's office, waiting in line at the bank, even waiting in line at the grocery store, hanging out at the airport, getting ready to go on a trip, I've always got it there, always something to do. So even if it's maybe not leisure time technically, I'm able to work on my hobby, right? So, and Jamie is saying, been slacking on Silk and Sonder. Don't think about it like that. I see a lot of folks who are, they feel like the journal is kind of like this source of stress if they're not keeping up with it, if they're not filling everything out. They're like, I'm not doing it right. It's stressing me out. I saw some folks in Sonder Club kind of saying that they were feeling stressed by when you do the affirmations and you say, I said this out loud, or I wrote this down, and it kind of gives you the streak, like how many days you've done this in a row. And they were feeling like that was a lot of pressure, right? Like, don't put that kind of pressure on yourself. Nobody's putting that pressure on you, my friends. Ask yourself what story you're telling yourself about what you think you have to do. We are not going to come knocking on your door and ask to see your journal and take it away from you if you haven't filled out enough things. This is really for you to feel good. Some months you will be spot on and you'll be filling everything out and you'll be spending lots of time in it. Other months you maybe don't have that kind of time, and that's okay, right? This is really for you to feel good about yourself. All right, so let's keep digging in. I hope you enjoyed kind of the other idea about the 30 minutes creating whatever you want, with all of these different ways to think about that. So let's move on and think about Rosebud Thorn. This is always a good opportunity to really reflect back on the week. Think about those things that went well, the rose, the highlight, the things that went well, the things that made you smile, the things that just made you feel really good. The bud is an emerging opportunity, maybe something that's coming up, something that you're looking forward to. Could be big, could be small. And then thorn is something maybe that's been challenging for you this week, something that's just kind of been like, you wish it would kind of resolve itself because it's kind of taking up space in your brain. So mine for this week, last night we had two of my friends and I had a Galentine's night out, and we went out to eat, and then we went to the ballet, and it was lovely, and we had such a fun time. The ballet was just amazing, and it was so fun to watch. So that was definitely my rose of the week. My bud is I have a trip to visit my mom. I'm leaving on Tuesday, which is actually her birthday. And so gonna go and see gonna go and see her for a week, so that's good to visit. Oh, the ballet was Ladies of the Camillas, something like that. I'll have to look it up, but it was very fun here in Denver. My thorn was and still is kind of continuing, is a little bit of workplace drama, not Silk and Sonder workplace, my my full-time work in a school district, right? So got a little workplace drama going on, and that's always a bit of a thorn whenever that pops up, right? So again, play a quick song. You can let us know in the chat your rosebud, thorn, all of them, one of them, whichever you want, whatever you want to share with us. Write it down here in your journal. So this would be on page, oops, I'm flipping through here. It was on page 36 for this week that we're just finishing up. So let us know, and I will check back in here in just a moment. All right. So good job kind of thinking about, reflecting on the week, thinking about those things that were good, those highlights, thinking about those things that are coming up, and recognizing and identifying and acknowledging that, you know what, there's some thorns too. And remember, that's the idea, right? Here's this rose, and it's rose, bud, and thorn. It's all part of, it's one part of our life. It's all one thing. And so we kind of take the good with the bad. So, oh no, Michelle said their dog knocked over a cup of water on the Sonder Journal. Oh no. I've seen so many stories in Sonder Club about folks who have had dogs chew up or spill something on or whatever. You may want to drop an email to hello@silkandsonder.com. They might be able to see if they can get something sent out to you if it's not usable. So yeah, dog ate my homework. Totally, Monica. All right, so let's jump forward and let's get into setting up that week. And I'm so glad to see folks are enjoying the Saturday socials. Karen is right. In March, we are adding, because so many folks are wanting more time with setups. So we'll still have the Saturday evening setups. We're going to add a Sunday morning, early morning setup, and then a Sunday evening setup. And then we have the Monday morning setup. So 4 opportunities to do the setups. So keep an eye out for that when the March events go live. So let's dig in and think about this week I want to feel. And I know sometimes this might seem like a necessary step or a silly thing, and you can just kind of, you think, oh, I'm not going to fill this in, or I'm not going to do anything. But it really does help you set the tone for how you want to feel this week. It really gives you kind of that theme for the week and that idea of what you're striving for. And I always tell folks, like, as you're filling out all the other pages, or, on all the other sections on those 2 pages, really look back at that, how you want to feel, and then say, how are my goals helping me feel how I want to feel? How are the things on my to-do list contributing to how I want to feel? How are my habits and activities contributing to how I feel? So really take some time and think about how you want to feel this week, right? And there's all kinds of different ways to feel, right? Different feelings, different ways to vibe. So here's lots of different words for you here. Maybe you want to feel accomplished, in control, peaceful. Maybe you want to feel light and airy from letting things go. Maybe you want to feel flexible. Maybe you want to have some specific feelings for specific days. Maybe, there's some things coming up. I see folks saying things like wanting to feel radiant, enthusiastic, powerful, happy, content, productive, all of those kinds of things. So take just a minute. I'll play a short song. Think about how you want this week to go, how you want to feel as you move through this week. All right. So lots of good words. I saw words like consistent and healthy. What else does he? Refreshed, realigned. Let's see what else. Focused. That's always a good one. Compassionate, consistent, confident, radiant, present. So many great words. And really now think about that word, right? And think about what it would take, what would have to happen, what would you need to do to feel that way. So now let's dig in to our weekly major 3 goals. I like to do the goals first and then do the to-dos. You can always do it either way that makes sense to you, but I always feel like it's good for me to set my 3 goals and then have my to-dos kind of align with that. So a couple ideas, ways to kind of think about this. You can use your February intentions from page 9 and use your monthly habit tracker from page 11 to help you set up your goals, right? We've talked about when we do the monthly setup, like, don't forget, we spent all this time setting our intentions in these 6 different areas of our lives. Look back at them, right? What were your intentions? What were the things that you wanted to do? So kind of take a look at that. Also take a look at that word, how you want to feel this week. Set your goals through the lens of passion, right? Think about, I want to be passionate about my job. I want to be passionate about my family. Think about kind of how passion would play a part in that. You could also create 3 no goals that maybe affect your life in a positive way. So for example, you say one of your goals is no alcohol this week, maybe no doom scrolling, no more than a certain number of minutes on social media, no impulse spending, no takeout meals. Are there some no things you want to say no to? Again, that will help you feel that way that you want to feel. You can also look at previous weeks or previous journals to see what outstanding goals you may still want to accomplish. If you have some from previous weeks, bring them forward. That's absolutely okay, right? Maybe you just weren't able to address those during that week. You can also frame your goals around maybe like a personal challenge. So maybe have a fitness challenge, a cleaning or decluttering challenge, self-care, soup challenge, soup or salad challenge. I know Karen sometimes will do the salad challenge where she tries to have different kinds of salad. When it's cold, I can't do salad. Salad makes me sad when it's cold. So I have to have soup. So smoothie challenge. Yeah, totally. Or again, you could use the theme of passion to help you set those particular 3 goals. All right. So feel free to let us know in the chat kind of what you're thinking of in terms of your 3 goals. You can also just have one. It's okay to focus on 1 goal or 2 goals, right? You don't, just because it says 3 goals doesn't mean it has to be 3. Again, we're not coming around to check your work, right? And you're not going to get a red mark in your journal if you don't pick 3. Totally can pick 1, absolutely fine. So let us know how that goes, kind of what kinds of things you're thinking, and we'll check back in here in just a second. All right. Did folks set some good goals, some good ideas for how you want to, how you want to what you want to do this week, right? How you things that you want to accomplish. Yeah, and I appreciate Steph had said she likes this quote, and I think this is such a great quote, and I have actually used it before for my this week I want to feel. So I can say this week I want to feel like a beautiful, glorious, unfinished work of art, right? And I think that's what we all are, right? We're all beautiful, glorious, unfinished works of art. So it's fabulous that you, if you want to write that across the top of your page, write that in your I am loving section. It's a great way to really respect yourself, right? And really kind of give yourself the credit for what you are, right? We are all these beautiful, glorious, unfinished works of art. So let's pop into our to-dos now. Now we have this idea for our goals. We're going to pop into some to-dos. So if lots of different ideas for how to tackle this, right? So I loved the little post about crossing things off my to-do list. I didn't do them. I just didn't want them on my list anymore, right? So really think about what kinds of things you want on the list and try to avoid the should things, right? Like I should do this, I should put this on my list. Think about what you want to put on there. Lots of folks like to use the bingo idea, like the one in the bottom left. It's always super fun. Bingo is always kind of a fun thing to do. So you can kind of put your to-dos in a bingo and cross those off. The person in the middle kind of has one column for things they want to do and things they need to do, right? So those things they absolutely need to get done versus the things that they want to do. You could also make it a ta-da list, right? So some people like, ta-da. So you write down things as you do them. So you have those on there. So you write them down and you can cross them off. There's the Eisenhower matrix, which is that little box down in the bottom right, where you can kind of decide if things are important and urgent, important, not urgent, not important and urgent, not important and not urgent. So then you can decide to either do some things, decide some things, delegate, or delete, right? You could also make a self-care list of things that you have on your to-do list, things you want to do for some self-care, maybe things you don't want to forget for the week. You want to maybe remind yourself if there's maybe some folks have a birthday coming up, maybe some folks have an anniversary coming up. You want to remember to call someone to tell them something, right? So this is a good place to do that. And again, if you have to-do lists in other places, you can always use this as a place to doodle, a place for stickers, kind of whatever works for you as you're going through your to-dos. Oops. So spend some time, fill this out. And again, we'll check back in here in just a moment. All right. So lots of folks having some good ideas for things that they can put down for that to do, things that they could put, that they if they want things they want to do. Doing the bingo thing is fun. Some folks were going to use pull the bingos from the Sonder Club that they still wanted to do and put those on the to-do list so that they can kind of take a look and see. And I also saw that there was some folks who were saying that they like to, Jamie was saying, likes to take notes and then fill in the journal later, because during the live, she feels like there's kind of too much going on. And that's, yeah, totally fine. Use your Post-it notes, use your stickies, spend some time filling that in. Absolutely, totally acceptable. All right, so let's pop down now to the bottom of that page, and we're going to work on our habits and activities. So a lot of folks ask, what's the difference between weekly habits and activities and monthly habits and activities? Generally speaking, the monthly ones that we do on the big monthly wheel, those are on page 11, the monthly habit tracker, are things we want to do every single day. So things like maybe take our vitamins, make our bed, go for a 10-minute walk, things we really want to do every single day. Whereas the weekly ones are maybe you want to do a couple times during the week, or maybe there are things that are specifically to help you with that this week I want to feel idea. So I always recommend, first of all, that you don't try to say you're going to do them all these things every day, because that's really not necessarily the intention of this. I mean, you can, but again, this is your journal. So don't stress yourself out. You notice that one kind of in the bottom on the middle, they have one habit activity, hydrate, and that's it. They don't have a specific goal. They just say hydrate. So it's just kind of that reminder that they want to do that. The one up above that just has 3, right? Dishes, laundry, and daily ritual, and how many times they want to do that. So that's a good way to do it too. The one on the bottom left, this is, I like the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the top thing is I want to do this 5 times this week, 4 times, 3 times, 2 times, and once. The great thing about the one time is once you do it, then you can check it off. So you've got something checked off your list. Again, go back and use your February intentions page, your monthly habits. Think about how you want to feel. What are some habits? What are some activities? What are some things that you can put down for this week that will help you with that feeling you identified a little bit earlier? All right. So work on that. Please let us know kind of how you use this page or what kind of thoughts you have around this page, and we'll check back in here in just a few moments. So hopefully you have some good ideas for some different habits, activities. I loved that Brandy she's developing a new morning schedule. So adding some tasks that she wants to make habits in that habit activity, right? So you want to have a new morning schedule. You want to have a new evening schedule. You want to have some sort of, you kind of trying to develop a routine. So try out some new things here in the activities to see how that works and kind of track that and see how that feels. Because anytime you try something new, like this idea of the new, the new activities, sometimes they work and sometimes they don't, but this is a great place to be able to try those out. Then you can reflect back next week. You can look and see, oh, I really wanted to do this one thing, but I only did it like maybe once this week and I kind of wanted to do it more than that. So now I have to evaluate, is that really something I want to do? Or do I need to figure out something else that's going to work for me? So let's flip over here and we're going to look at our meal plan. And we're actually going to look at a couple things at the same time so that you can kind of work on those. The first one is the meal plan. And a lot of folks like to repurpose this one because people say, oh, I don't necessarily keep track of my food, or I don't necessarily plan out the food. Absolutely fine. It does work great for tracking food if you're having maybe some allergies or maybe some tummy issues that are kind of bugging you, to kind of be able to look back. Other folks have used it to write down their daily affirmations or scriptures. Maybe they do their work or school study track, exercise tracker, cleaning plan, gratitude log, mindfulness activity planner, end of day reflections. Again, those affirmations, 7 types of rest, packing list, wardrobe planner, medical condition focus tracker, self-care planner, a weekly favorite thing, a favorite song, any of those kinds of things, right? So that's first, we're going to look at the meal planner, but I also want to take a look at that mind body health plan section over to the right. So again, lots of different ways that folks are using this. Sometimes people are, again, making a little bingo in there for things. Some people have kind of changed it up so it's more of a something I did well this week and some ways that I loved others this week. Again, some people actually use this part for the meal plan. So they're just planning dinners. And so they wanted a smaller part so they can put that in there. I like the one on the bottom left where they kind of give themselves a choose one. Here's 3 different things that I can do for myself, for my mind, body, plan for the week. Again, kind of the rhyming thing, meatless Monday, TV free Tuesday, walking Wednesday, those kinds of things that you could add in there. And then that one in the middle, kind of thinking of the different, these I think are the 7 types of rest. So again, kind of thinking of different ways to approach that this week. So work on both of those. Let us know kind of how that's going, kind of what you're doing there. I'll flip back and forth between the slides and we'll see how things are and check back in here in just a few moments. All right. So did you get some good ideas for things to put down in this section? Again, lots of different ways to use it. And remember, you don't always have to use every section. You could always use a section for doodles or stickers, anything like that. So I do like to kind of experiment with using it for different ways to track. Like if I'm going on a trip, sometimes I'll use that meal planner to actually track like what I'm doing each day, like where I'm going to be and maybe like what outfit I need to wear, or if I need to remember to do a specific thing while I'm out, those kinds of things. So, but I don't do that every time because I'm not on a trip every week. So hopefully finding some different ideas for things that you can use that particular section for. So let's jump into the next two little sections here on this page. We have the shopping list, which of course can be used just as a shopping list, right? For things that you need to pick up at the store, whatever store. You can also use it for a packing list. Again, lots of folks like to use it for bingo. I've definitely done some fun bingo things that they used it for a self-regulation bingo. A good quote. Someone had passion as energy, feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Quote from Oprah Winfrey. So a good place to put, you can use that. You can use it for maybe your Wordle, your mindfulness activity, bedtime routine, morning routine, cleaning chart, prayer list, doodles and drawings, tracking, any kind of tracking that you maybe want to use. Or again, maybe you don't necessarily have a use for this. So you just use it for kind of a doodle thing, or you leave it blank. The other part that people will also often ask about is the I am loving section, right? And basically this is just a place for you to kind of do a quick, like, what are you loving this week? What are you really enjoying? And so one of the couple things like I said, I like movies and TV. And so my husband and I have been watching The Last of Us, which really enjoying that. I love a good apocalyptic zombie film. So I've definitely been enjoying that one, even though I never played the video game, so I don't know that aspect of it, but I've really been enjoying this. And we've also been catching up on the Welcome to Wrexham, which is a super interesting story about soccer in Wales and Ryan Reynolds and I can't remember the other guy's name. It's so bad. But they buy the soccer team. And so they've been kind of going through that. And it's not so much about the famous people. It's more about the people of the town. So that's been kind of fun. So take a second, fill those little sections out, and we'll pop back in here. And we have one more little section that we're going to do tonight before we close. So stay tuned. All right, so got an idea for what you're going to do with that shopping plan now, with a shopping list, however you want to use that for the week. And again, I kind of switch it up each week for what I'm using it for. Sometimes I will maybe write down some things I need to read or things that I need to look up or things I need to dig a little bit deeper in. Sometimes I'll kind of list out some shows or something that people have said, oh, have you watched whatever, kind of do that. Yeah. And Karen's saying like so much of it is kind of after the fact, right? So it's just kind of to me, it's a good place to kind of jot things down if I haven't needed to use it for something else. So the last thing I want to make sure that you have a chance or that you have seen is here on page 39. And so this is called Currently. And so what I like to do is in the middle of the month, which is coming right up, February is a short month, right? So usually I do it on the 15th and I will set an alarm in my phone to on the 15th, the 15th of every month to remind me to fill out my Currently page. And again, this is just like this fun idea of a snapshot, right? You don't have to do it tonight. I just wanted to show this to you and let you know kind of what it's all about, because sometimes people are like, what am I supposed to do with this Currently page? So really it's this idea of what am I currently loving, feeling, enjoying, anticipating, wishing, reading, watching, and planning. So again, it's a fun place. Yeah. And like Karen's saying, these pages are good to review at the end of the year, or maybe at the end of 6 months or even quarterly. It's kind of that mini time capsule of like, what was I doing during that time frame, right? So sometimes if you're not sure on some of those things, you can always kind of look back in your cell phone pictures or emails or that kind of thing, kind of looking to see what that is. But this is definitely a good section to kind of, like I said, I usually fill it out around the middle of the month just to kind of see what that looks like. Steph, we have not had a Wheel of Life recently. And I don't think we have one in March either. No, we don't have one in March. So I'm not sure when that's coming up. I'm sure we'll have one at some point, but I have not seen one. So yeah, it is, Karen's saying it is usually quarterly, but now I can't remember when the last one is. I feel like everything kind of blurs together sometimes, which is also why it's good to do the Currently page, because it helps when things are kind of blurring together and you're not sure kind of what things are looking like. So believe it or not, we are at the end of our time together this evening. I hope you've had a good time really kind of getting geared up for the week. We've got, I guess there's some big game or something tomorrow that people will be watching. I'm not a big football fan, so we will not be watching it, but I know a lot of people enjoy the Super Bowl parties. So we've got, I know you've got that. We've got Valentine's Day on Tuesday, be the middle of the month. Oh, and the Rihanna concert. Yeah, the Rihanna concert tomorrow, right, Amber? Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and then I think there's a football game, and then Rihanna's going to play. So I will watch that because it's always fun to watch the halftime show. So hopefully ready to go with the weekly planner. Please feel free to share any pictures that you would like in the Sonder Club app. We love to see examples, and that's where we pull our examples from, is from real life Sonder fam like you. So give us some examples and we can kind of pull some things in there. And then to kind of close us out, we do have the Loving Silk and Sonder refer a friend QR code, where if you refer a friend and they sign up, $10 for you, $10 for them. And Karen was saying, I haven't smelled it yet, but there's a new candle that's going to be coming out from Silk and Sonder, and she says it smells really good. So keep an eye out for that. There is, Karen's going to throw the YouTube link in the chat. There's the where they will post replays of our event. It takes a few days, so give them a little while to get that posted, but there's like over 300, I think, recordings of different socials in there. So you can always kind of go back and take a look at that and watch any of those. Just know the chat's not there, and sometimes the music is redacted for copyright purposes. So thank you all so much for being here tonight. It's always so fun to kind of set things up. If you want to take a quick snapshot, here's the songs that I played. There were a few songs I didn't get to, but most of the songs we did play, the different little versions of them. And I hope you all have a fabulous evening. We are doing another setup tomorrow, and you're welcome to come to that if you want to. If you need a little more time, it will be me again, and Karen will be there. Otherwise, have a fabulous week, and we will see you soon. Take care.
fast. We make it look easy. We make it look good. When everybody sees it, they stop and take a look. So celebrate yourself. Celebrate. So celebrate yourself. It's gonna feel so great. We make it look good. 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 We make